Hi there, I'm going to share some thoughts on Mega Man 11 before giving my first impressions on the game. Firstly, who exactly is this game for? Is Mega Man big in Japan or in Asia in general? I know it has fans in the West, but they don't seem to be a huge number, and whenever I've heard people talk of Mega Man, it's been when they played it on the SNES or original Nintendo. I never played a Mega Man game until I picked one up on the PlayStation 1. And for a bit of information, there's actually 50 or more Mega Man titles at this point in time. That just seems crazy to me. And you might think, well, if there's over 50 titles, people are buying those games, the fan base has to be there. I'm still not sold on it. It seems to me the games could be cheap to develop, as they don't really seem to change or innovate in any way. Mega Man 11, for example, is going to have 8 stages. That doesn't really strike me as an epic. And also Capcom. Capcom likes to drop games like this any opportunity, anytime an anniversary rolls around. It's either going to be an anniversary of Capcom's or it's going to be of this franchise. Hell, it could even be Bill and Ted's anniversary and they would still find a way to relate it to one of their games. Thinking of other Capcom titles, like you've got Monster Hunter, having sequels till it makes sense. Resident Evil, sure, I'm not going to play it, but I can see why there's more to come and why they keep, getting more sequels, etc. Devil May Cry 2, yep, sign me up for that. I would really like to play more of that sort of game, that sort of, gameplay, all-out action, defeating awesome bosses. That's my type of thing. Except that I'm kind of hearing microtransactions are going to creep into the game. So if they're going to incorporate that bollocks, there's no way that that's not going to fuck it up in some way. And even the likes of Street Fighter. Street Fighter has always been a big game within the fighting community. Within the fighter genre, Street Fighter is the name that always gets mentioned. So you can see why these are still ongoing. Each sequel to those games seems to try and do something a bit bigger and a bit better. The fan base is loud and clear, it's there. Could you ever imagine a day where Mega Man is marketed the way that Monster Hunter or Spider-Man was? I can't. For me, the most excitement I feel for the Blue Bomber is knowing that he's going to be a playable character in a Marvel vs. Capcom game. I should probably point out that this doesn't mean that I think Mega Man games are bad. Not all of them. Some of them are shit. I think I wouldn't be alone in saying that. But I don't know, it's just I don't see the appeal in 2018. How does this make money? If development costs are low, maybe Capcom can get away with shifting just a few units. Maybe that's all Capcom needs to do. And I don't know, sometimes when you see a game like this come around, it kinda comes across like it was possibly a pure business idea. Like possibly Bigwigs Capcom or somebody who was like, Mighty Number 9 failed to deliver. Now, we have measured the interest that that title generated, and we've got to respond accordingly. So maybe they're thinking, right, all we'll have to do here, guys, is deliver a short but solid Mega Man that people have been wanting for, quite a while. Because again, I think all the best ones were like very late 80s, early 90s was like Mega Man heyday. And yeah, Capcom's probably thinking, if we can deliver something short, solid, give the people what they want, sell it for half the RRP of other AAAs, slap on it a 30th anniversary, let's really tap into the crowd that liked Mega Man in the late 80s and early 90s when they played it on the SNES. I see polls showing Mega Man ranked as like the 23rd best character in all video games. What the fuck? I try to tell myself it's just gotta be because it's an easy name to remember. It can't actually be he's loved that much. And I'm coming to this conclusion because like no one I've ever personally known who enjoys games mentions Mega Man. And some people may go up at rank 23 is not that high. It's high enough considering all of the video game characters there has been throughout the history of gaming. I mean, the people that I know, sure they know his name. They probably have an image to go with the name. But that seems to be the head of it. Maybe they played an old game, but it's not one of their favourite by any stretch of the imagination. I still have a Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. Occasionally I'll turn my older systems on, play a game. Games consist of like 5 levels. Years ago, myself included, you thought, oh, this is a good game. No, plenty of enjoyment here. So it's just funny that when you look back at some of the older titles. But I play them and then that's it. Play them, do the few levels, maybe complete them, turn the systems off, move on to something else. Back when Mega Man was released on like the 16-bit consoles, I get it. I can see how it had its appeal back then. Like it could have even been one of the best titles on a 16-bit console. It's decent sound, looks decent, side-scrolling action adventure. You get new weapons after defeating bosses. It handles well. You know, 8 levels. You can choose any of the levels to start with. You know, you don't have to do level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You can choose any of those levels and run through them. I'm sure that was fantastic in 1988, but it's 2018. Will people still take this off the shelf when it's sitting beside, so I don't know, I mean just look at the titles you can pick up from the PlayStation Hits range instead of me rhyming off the Uncharted 4s and the Yakuzas and all that good stuff. But do you know where I'm coming from? And not only that, but it's going to release here on the 2nd of October. Like, the last time I checked, October had some other interesting and strong contenders being released in that month. One that I am interested in, Fist of the North Star, which I'm hopefully going to get like a first impressions up of that. Fist of the North Star hasn't really had great games in the past, but I loved the anime. Getting sidetracked, I'll leave it for when I do that first impressions, but there's one right away. Red Dead is out later in October. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is the beginning of October. I mean, just, there's got to be other titles there. I mean, even if this is going to release at, say, 25 quid or whatever currency is, you know, whatever sort of like half price currency you're dealing with in whatever country. I mean, there's got to be other titles which have dropped down and around that similar price point. But anyway, now let's go into the actual first impressions of the game. That was just some thoughts I had about this title. If you have any yourself, please feel free to share in the comment section below. It would be nice to hear from you. So let's get on with the first impressions. First up, graphics. I don't really like speaking too much about graphics because if you're looking at this first impressions video, you can see for yourself. If you like the graphics, you like them. If you don't, you don't. I personally think these graphics are cartoony but sharp, and I like the look of them. The controls of the game does handle quite well. And any time that I fell or have been hit by enemies or anything like that, it hasn't been due to bad controls. It's just been down to my lack of skill, lack of patience when doing the platforming sections. As for a story, from the little that I've played and facing the boss at the end, there wasn't much of a story to talk about. I'm sure the full game will have more of a story. Will it be overly interesting? I highly doubt it on what's came beforehand. But this is going to come down to personal preference. Come to think of it, from the main body of Mega Man games, have we ever had a definitive ending to any of the games or storyline? Not sure on that one. As for the music in the game, I am fairly easily pleased when it comes to music in games. It takes it to be truly atrocious before I have any complaints in that regard. The music in this game seems fine. It seems to suit the level design.
The gameplay of this title I would class as mediocre. It has some nice ideas and it looks nice and it handles well, but overall the gameplay is just average. You're just traversing the level, defeating a few little bad guys here and there as they just randomly float in from different angles on the screen until you get to the boss fights. The boss fights are probably the most enjoyable element to this game. Throughout my footage you'll see I've changed Mega Man between one of 3 different costumes, and he has a different weapon attachment each time. In his blue form he has his Mega Blaster, and in the little yellow and orange form he has like a drill arm. You get these new weapons every time you defeat a boss, so it does lend itself to some replayability. Playing through each of the levels, you choose your first level, you run through it as bog standard Mega Man, covered in blue, shooting blasts from his gun arm. You defeat a boss, you've got a new weapon. Maybe replaying levels with the new weapons will add a new style of play for you. It'll make it more enjoyable possibly. I do think a game like this will definitely benefit from that time attack sort of mode, like in the Sonic games of the past. How quickly can you rush through the level? So you play through it once, defeat the bosses, get their weapons, run through it all again, seeing if you can beat your times, seeing how quickly and accurately you can get through each of the levels. That might be fine for some people, but for me it still doesn't elevate the actual gameplay to anything above average. There's also a gear system in this game. One allows you to power up Mega Man so that his blasts do more damage. Another gear allows Mega Man to slow down time. And in a game like this, if you're finding a particular platform section to be a bit tricky and you maybe just need a slower pace to help you out, or indeed when facing one of the bosses, it is a lot more useful. Based on my experience with the game, I will not be making a purchase of Mega Man 11. Even when it's in a bargain bin, I will still not make a purchase of Mega Man 11, because it's not just the price. It's that it's going to take up time, and I get the feeling that this game is going to be short, and although there might be some replayability there to give it some more life, the time spent playing a game like Mega Man 11 is going to stop most people. It's going to stop, well, let's face it, it's going to stop everyone. You can't play 2 games at once. If you're playing Mega Man 11, you're not going to be playing something else. And I just feel that there's going to be other games which I should be giving preference to and which I will enjoy more than this title. So that is why I will not be picking up a Mega Man. It's got some good gameplay mechanic. If there wasn't other games out there, yes, but there is. And a bit like what I said earlier on in the video, I just don't see how it competes alongside other titles in 2018. But I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and if you will be purchasing Mega Man 11, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe, or both. Thank you very much, and hopefully you'll hear from me again in another video.